Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Date the Nerd podcast. I am Christy.
And I'm Helpline. We want to thank you for all the support on our first video. We really appreciate it. And just like always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All of our handles will be down below. Let's get into it.
So before we get into the topic today, which is going to be depression, I wanted to answer a question from Corey L. from our last video, our first video. And I mentioned in that particular episode, I talked about autonomy and how that was one of the things that I was really felt was a priority when raising my children, was to teach you guys how to have autonomy. And so Corey L. asked about that, like, what is autonomy and why is it important in parenting, right? So autonomy is the ability to make decisions based on your own interests and values.
Okay.
Basically, your ability to do your own thing. You know, be you, do you, right? And a lot of people don't have that, and so they walk around in life just
Trying
lost.
to find it. Literally.
Trying to find it. That's why people come to therapy. I'm a licensed therapist, and so a big thing in therapy is helping people to create autonomy. You know, their ability to make their own decisions and their own path in life.
For what they want.
Exactly. And so one of the ways that I did it, I started out really, really young. When y'all were like 2 years old, I would always ask the question,
like, what do we want? What do we want to eat?
What do you want? But I would ask the question and give you choices within parameters.
Because we were so young.
Exactly. You were so young, so you can't just say, what do you want to do? I want to jump off a cliff, right? I would give you choices within parameters. What do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Chicken or fish?
Yeah.
Beef or seafood or whatever. So you would always feel like from a very young age.
I definitely remember that.
Exactly.
It helped me. It helps me now. Sometimes I'll stop like, what do I really want to do?
Exactly.
What do I really want to do? What do I want?
And as a parent, I tried my best not to be a helicopter parent. I wanted to protect you so much. You came after a child that I lost.
Yes,
and so
my sister passed away.
And so my nature was to be overly protective of you, but at the same time, I wanted you to grow up and be a strong and powerful woman. And the way to do that is to teach you how to make positive choices for yourself. Autonomy. Okay. Yes. Choices within parameters. That's how you help a child to make decisions. Okay. You give them choices within parameters. Okay.
Yes. Before we get into depression, get deeper or anything like that, I just want to ask you, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing mentally?
I am happy, relatively. Okay. Life is never perfect, guys, but I've been through a whole lot of stuff, and I think once you go through a lot of things, gratitude is the key for me.
Y'all, I just learned what gratitude means. That's my word of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. It means like being happy and content with what you have right now.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, continue though.
It's the key to happiness, all right? So we're going to talk about depression right now, and then our next episode would probably be good to talk about happiness.
Happiness. Can we get into manifestation too?
Exactly. And so I want to talk a little bit about depression because it's something that affected you. And so you asked me how I was doing. How am I doing? I am not depressed. I am relatively happy because I am grateful for my life and where I am right now. But I am overwhelmed, and I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm a therapist, I'm a case manager, got a whole lot of stuff going on. Nonprofit work, I'm an advocate. It's just a whole lot of stuff.
And we just started a podcast.
And my number one job is still being a mother to my adult kids, because kids still need you.
She's an active mother too. She
when
don't
they grow
play.
up. Exactly.
Yeah.
So my question is, how are you? How are your mentals and your emotionals right now? How you doing? Because you're away, you don't live with me anymore, so I got to check in with my baby. I take care of people all day long, but I don't always get a chance to check in with my baby every day. So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good, and I'm grateful to know that I'm doing better, much better than the past 2 years. And yeah, honestly, I just want to say I'm doing much better than the last 2 years. I want to say that my first year of college was tough. My second year was even a little bit tougher, and I definitely battled with some depression. Right now, I have been like traveling and busy and stuff like that. So I'll get back to you when the school starts back.
Listen, y'all, she's been on tour all summer. Where'd you go? Puerto Rico, California, where?
Yeah, I went to Puerto Rico, came back for a day, and then got on a plane to LA to see my cousin.
And it makes me happy because I want you to live your life.
I want to live my life, y'all. I'm young. Sometimes I feel like, girl, I'm young. Like, chill. No, I want to do it now, literally.
Right.
So
let's get into what was going on with you last year. You came to me. I'm going to let you tell the story because it's your story to tell, right? But what was going on last year?
What was going on last year, y'all? Basically, college kicked my butt. They didn't tell me enough about it, honestly. They didn't tell me enough about it. And it was just learning how to live by myself for the first time, maintain my grades, maintain a physical and mental. People don't talk about that. You can do them grades and gain 50 pounds as well.
Yeah, and they call it the freshman spread. Normally, freshman girls in particular gain about 20 pounds or more their freshman year.
And I've always been heavy set, but I've been heavy set my whole life, but it's kind of maintained. I blew up, like straight up blew up. So yeah, basically, we're gonna talk about what depression looks like. We're gonna talk about what it looks like. I'll say specifically for a college student. So for me, didn't want to get out of bed. I'm not gonna lie, I was missing some of my classes.
I was wearing signs of depression.
I was wearing
a lot, right?
The same sweatshirt every day, literally. I didn't want to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to go nowhere. I felt so ugly. And I want to say the main thing was I always felt a heavy heart. Like all the time when I walked around, my heart was heavy. I always felt worried, like
anxiety, because anxiety and depression are cousins, guys.
Literally.
A lot of the symptoms of
they must be
anxiety,
best friends or something.
Exactly. Anxiety and depression look a lot alike. And you were probably experiencing both of them at the same time.
Yes, it was really hard for me, and I just want to shout out to my college students, because sometimes we don't want to tell our parents what we're going through. Right. No, I don't want to tell you that I'm about to flunk out of my classes that you done paid all this money for. Right. I just want to get it together. But it's like, what happens when in the midst of trying to get it together, you just feel like you keep falling and falling and falling. Like, it would be stuff like this, like little stuff. It would be like, I stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing I shouldn't be up that late. Mm-hmm. Boom, miss my first class. I'm upset about missing my first class and stuff like that. So boom, go get a big meal of food, fall asleep, miss my second class. Mm-hmm. Now I'm even more depressed. I'm even in a slump. Now, you know what I'm saying? It would be stuff like that. I just felt so unworthy, so unmotivated.
Signs of depression. What made you come to me? Because that right there was the most courageous thing that you could have done, was come to me and say, hey, mommy. She came to me and she says, and I'm a therapist. Like I said, I'm a therapist.
She's a therapist.
She came to me and said, and my heart sank, because I'm like, wow, I spend all day, every day, taking care of people who have depression and anxiety, and my own child is hurting. I'm thinking she's off at college, she's happy, she's having a good time, and she comes to me and tells me, mommy, I need a therapist, I'm depressed, I'm sad all the time.
Yes.
You know, it about killed me. So what made you come to me and ask for a therapist? How did you know it was time to seek help?
It wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. Honestly, I say the biggest thing to me was things that usually would excite me and make me happy. It wasn't doing it for me. Like, nothing was doing it for me. Like, it's like I couldn't find any motivation in anything. Like, usually I'm like, I was running like a food business at the time as well. And it was doing pretty good. I was meeting new people on campus. I was doing all the things I prayed for. I'm like, God, give me an outlet to meet, to network. I was doing it. I was getting some cool money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing could fulfill me. I'm like, why do I still feel so empty inside? I got a call. The only person I know, Hot 111 mama, like, literally.
Yeah, that made me really happy.
Therapist.
It made me happy that because, suicide rate is very, very high. The other thing that may have been consideration, this happened during COVID. What people don't understand is that depression went up by 40% during the pandemic.
Are you serious?
And also, you had been isolated for so long. You spent your entire senior year away from high school, online. A lot of young people, the depression rate went up. My business went up because everybody was coming to therapy, coming to counseling, right? And like I said, it just hurt me that I'm taking care of all of these other people, and my own baby is dealing with the same thing. So when you came to me, I just want you to know I was so proud of you. I didn't have to ask a whole lot of questions. I just immediately went into not therapy mode, mama mode, because I'm a mother before anything else, and so I had to turn that therapist role off and just try to help you find the right person. And I gave you a few, and you chose the therapist. I allowed her. That's that autonomy again, is allowing her to choose.
I chose my therapist because I'm gonna be completely honest. I know a lot of people are scared of therapy. And I used to be scared of therapy too, because I'm like, girl, you ain't lived my life. How you gonna tell me what? You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of people think. You didn't live my life. How you gonna tell me how I should continue living my life? Right. It's not always about that. Sometimes you just how being in a toxic relationship, how you're blinded when you're in the situation. Sometimes you need an outside person, and it helps if they're educated, like a therapist, to be able to tell you, hey, babe, you going this way, you need to make a U-turn. You need to go a different direction. This is not leading you down the right path. And that's what my therapist did for me. I have had a bad experience with therapy during like y'all's divorce and stuff when I was younger. But I didn't really know how it worked and stuff. But I would definitely say if you guys are battling depression, especially in college, y'all, sometimes you just need someone level-headed to talk to that's not your parents. Like I said, we don't be trying to tell y'all everything.
Exactly. And like I said, I had to turn off the therapy hat and put on my mama hat and say, you know what? I help other people, but this one time I got to make sure that my baby's put in a position to be helped by somebody else, a professional, somebody else. But the big thing is you were vulnerable, came and asked for help. Always, guys, if you're going through experiencing some of those things, and I'll give you a few of the signs of depression, okay? Let's get into them. There are a lot of them, and they're not all the same for everybody. Remember, sometimes the happiest person, the party, the happiest person in the room is the most depressed person in the room, and we don't find out sometimes until it's too late. And so I just thank God that my child had the wherewithal to come to me. You know why? Because I created a safe environment for her as a therapist. She's always heard about therapy. She's seen the benefits of therapy, so she knew when to come and ask for help. Thank God. But anyway, some of the signs of depression. Number one sign of depression is an overwhelming feeling of sadness, hopelessness. No matter what's going on, everything could be good. You could have plenty of money. She has plenty of friends. Had a social network.
Lived with one of my closest friends. Always around me.
Lived with her best friend. She has a connection, just a village around her. People that love her. She has parents that listen to her, and she was still depressed. You don't have to have a bad life to feel depressed. She was still feeling depression or whatever, right? Another sign is sleeping a lot or not sleeping enough. Sometimes people who are depressed, they sleep all day long. They stay up all night long. Lack of interest, lack of motivation. Your grades might drop. Having trouble on your job. What else? Signs of depression.
You talked about things that used to interest you.
You lose things. You lose interest, lose interest in things that would normally make you happy. You don't care about them anymore. You don't care about anything.
You don't care about nothing. I don't care about nothing.
Like you said, you wore a sweatshirt every single day. Well, she's a girly girl. She likes looking pretty, so wearing a sweatshirt every day is an issue.
I didn't care about nothing. Like, I remember my friend would be like, "You wearing that to dinner that we planned like a week ago?" I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it looked like for me. But I do want to say that it don't look like that for everyone. That sounds very stereotypical of me, but that's my story. Sometimes depression looks like getting up for work, going to have lunch, having dinner with your family, doing a regular life, and you get into bed and your heart is like, just feels like it's sinking. Like, that's the only way I can describe the feeling. It felt like my heart was heavy.
Right. So, signs of depression, I'll give you 5. Overwhelming sense of sadness, sleeping a lot or not sleeping enough, changing appetite. Isolation is a big one. Isolating, not wanting to answer the phone, not wanting to talk to anybody at all. Thank you so much for reaching out. What else?
I would say those were the 5. Right. The sleeping order, the isolation, not having interest. What were the last 2?
Did I say the overwhelming sense of sadness?
The overwhelming sense of sadness.
No matter what's going on in your life.
And the eating, excessive eating or under eating. It's like with depression, everything happens like in extremes, I would say.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And so the question next is, okay, so what are some things that you can do, right? Number 1, which is what you did, was go to therapy. You can consider medication. Sometimes when you're clinically depressed, there's a difference between being clinically depressed and just situationally depressed. I was depressed because, my entire face was burned and I had to go through this whole process. And so I took medication so I could get up out of the bed and take you guys to school. Like, literally, I did not have the energy to even get up out of the bed, but I knew I had to keep going because I had children. So I tried antidepressant medication. Fortunately, you did not have to do that, so it's not always necessary. But antidepressant medication, when your serotonin levels are low, therapy, guess what? Good old vitamin D.
Get it outside. Get
into the sun. Exercise helps too.
Yes.
Staying active. Okay. Yes. And even when you want to isolate, have somebody that you can reach out to and talk to. Have a buddy that understands you can talk to make sure
with no judgment.
Exactly. Make sure you're reaching out to somebody if you're feeling depressed, guys. Let's see what else works for depression. The big thing, honestly, is keep moving. Exercise. Even when you don't want to get up and move, make yourself get up and take a shower. When you're depressed, you don't even want to take a shower, guys.
You don't.
You don't even want to take a shower.
I would say with depression, just honestly self-care. Right. Like, you almost have to treat it like you getting over a breakup or something. Exactly. Like, you have to treat it as if you're trying to leave something behind. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember, I'm like, I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go get them done. I feel ugly. all right, I'm gonna go get my hair done. Like, maybe it'll make me feel better. Exactly. Like, try to, like, it sounds terrible, but almost like fake it till you make it. Like, you have to trick your brain to say, nah, fake it till you make it. I'm that girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to start telling myself, like, no, you're pretty. You're that girl. You're not lazy.
Exactly. Affirmations, guys. Telling yourself, you know how with depression, what people don't always understand about depression is there's a voice inside of you when you're depressed telling you you're worthless, you're nothing. You feel guilty about certain things. You feel guilty if you miss a class. You feel guilty if you're not calling people. So the depression tells you all these negative things, and in order for you to reverse it, sometimes you have to fill yourself with positive affirmations and replace those negative thoughts. Yes. Like whatever depression says, whatever depression is telling to you guys, you say the opposite. No, that's not true. Yeah. I'm beautiful. Yeah. No, that's not true. I have plenty of friends. No, that's not true. I'm smart.
I'm worthy. I'm smart.
Exactly. I'm worthy. Affirmations actually really and truly work. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so proud of you.
Mom, you keep saying that.
But it's just a fact.
I'm proud of you too. And to be honest with y'all, if I can be real vulnerable real quick, I didn't think depression was real. I used to think, okay, like, because especially as I was growing up, I'm like, I keep hearing this depression word.
So what did you think I did for a living?
Mommy, I used to think, you got to understand, like, my mom, she went through a lot. So I didn't know she was on antidepressants and stuff. I just know that everyone got a different story. People go through things. People get sad. Until I literally had everything going pretty good in my life and I still felt so low, I'm like, oh, this depression thing ain't no joke. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's for real.
It's for real.
It's for real.
And there's some contributing factors. It could be hereditary, situational, clinical if your serotonin levels are low.
So what was your depression?
My depression was my entire life flip, change. You know, I couldn't leave the house.
Talk about that a little bit.
You remember how bad things were. You know, my entire face was burned. This was before the surgeries or anything that first year. And because I was a therapist, this is the other thing too. You have to have the humility to believe that somebody can come and help you. You know how you said, how is somebody who's not going through what I'm going through? Yeah. And that's how I felt. If that person's never been, I'm a therapist. If that person's never been burned, how are they going to help me? A therapist. How are they going to help me, right? So even as a therapist, I didn't go to therapy for an entire year. Yeah. It took me, you know what made me go to therapy finally? My love for you and Christopher. I said, I cannot live this way because whoever I am, what I'm becoming, my children are going to become because they're watching as well. And I need to teach them that no matter what happens in life, you got to get up and keep moving.
You got to keep going.
And so I kept going, and I finally went to therapy. The same way you went to therapy, like, I can't live like this. I finally went to therapy, and I found a really good, compassionate, and nurturing man. That's a big thing, guys. Choose the therapist that works best for you, because I was going through something that was related to a man. I found a man, a male therapist, a spiritual therapist,
man to reinforce,
to almost
counteract what
exactly. So for some people, a man may be better. For some women, a woman may be better.
Sometimes somebody younger, sometimes somebody older, sometimes somebody spiritual.
Culture is very important when you're dealing with therapy. Yep.
It's so much things that goes into therapy, so much things that goes into depression. I don't know. What's one thing you would say to a depressed person at your age? And then I'll say something to a depressed person in my age.
You're not alone. If you're experiencing depression, you are not alone. Okay? I would say about 40% of the population has experienced some form of depression, if not more than that. I would say that there is help out there. There are options. I gave you a few of them. Therapy, medication, connected, being social, being around people, letting people know what you're going through. But the big thing is you're not crazy. Okay?
Yeah, you're not crazy.
You're not crazy. You're just depressed. Life
you're not crazy. You're just depressed.
Exactly. You're just depressed. That's not being crazy, all right? You're going to be okay. But please have the courage and the vulnerability to seek help. That's what I would say.
For me, someone my age, I'm going to take it a little different route. I would honestly say the same thing, like, you're not crazy, you're just depressed. But I would also say you're not crazy, you're just young. I'm starting to realize there's so much stuff
that is so good. You haven't lived long enough.
Think about it. You haven't even lived long enough. Like, one thing for me that was like culture shock, like, come on, like, we're trying to learn about credit. We're trying to learn about how to make a living for ourselves without our parents, just how to be dependent. Like, what does that look like? And I'm not talking just about college, just anything. Like, what are the stepping stools in my 20s that's going to prepare me for the rest of my life? So, yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
It's very frustrating. And just, yeah, like, you're not tripping, honestly. Mm-hmm. My age, you're not tripping. I would definitely say have the humility to ask for help.
Yes.
Because you don't know everything.
Vulnerability is courage.
Yeah, I tried to tell them, you can't smoke it away. You can't drink it away. Mm-hmm. You can't eat it away. You can't sleep it away. Mm-hmm. You have to fight it because it's going to show up in other things. It's going to show up at the family events when you done spaz on your cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it shows up everywhere.
Oh, and that's one thing I did not mention is that one of the symptoms of depression is anger, irritability.
Yes. Irritability.
Yes. Irritability. There's so many signs of depression that don't look like depression. It does not always look like sadness.
It doesn't. It is not.
So, you feeling better, though?
I feel better. I feel so much better. I feel like when I breathe, it's just like you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just
that makes
fresh.
Me happy.
I feel so good. And I remember I texted my mom. I'm very dramatic and very emotional. And I texted my mom. I don't know if you remember. It was maybe like at the beginning of this year. And I'm like, Mom, I only know I was depressed because how happy I am. Like, just walking around like, like something bad happens and I'm still okay. That's when I knew I was getting better. Like, when you're depressed, it's like one thing, my life is over. Yeah. But it's like now I just feel like, no, bad things happen. This whole thing called life, bad things happen, literally. And it's okay.
But you know what? Yes. You got to go through some stuff. You got to go through some bad stuff, or you won't have the comparison. That's what people don't get. The comparison is necessary.
The comparison is necessary, and
if
you won't be grateful.
Everything is always good. How would you ever be grateful?
How are you going to be grateful? I'm so grateful right now. That's why I love the word gratitude. Mm-hmm. Literally,
it's my people always say, "How did you get through all of that, Christy?" Because you know what I would do, and this is something I want you guys to practice. As you're getting out of bed, before you even go to the bathroom in the morning, think of 5 things to be grateful for. So that's how I want to end today. Let's come up with 5 things that you're grateful for, and I'll come up with 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Okay, we can do that. I'm grateful for my mind. I love my mind. I'm like, I know I don't know that everything, but I feel like I know a lot. I'm grateful for my mind. I'm grateful for my family. I love my family. Like, both sides is different. They crazy, but I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my extended family, like my friends. Like, I have a really good round circle of friends. One thing I'm really grateful for, I call it like Hannah Montana. I'm grateful for the balance in my life. I love getting.
We're gonna have a whole episode about balance one day. Balance.
That's like my middle name, baby. Like, I love being able to do a podcast, do this, maybe go get lunch with my cousin. I just flew to LA just to chill with my cousin. Then you know what I'm saying? Now I'm at school. Now I'm in the school thing. Then I'm at work. I'm a nanny, so I take care of kids. So then now I'm taking care of the kids. Like, it's just, it's almost like having multiple sources of income. I love just multiple sources of happiness, if that makes sense. So, I think that was my 4th one. My 5th one, what am I grateful for? Life. Okay. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to be in a situation where I can finally live. I just got back from Puerto Rico and LA in the past 2 weeks, and I'm 20.
Exactly.
Like,
you're doing the things that I wanted you to do. You're doing the things that I wish that I had the access to when I was your age. I didn't have the access,
and I'm grateful for that. Exactly. Okay, what's 5 things that you're grateful for?
So, number 1, I am grateful for the freedom to do and be who I want to. I have 2 careers that I actually choose. I am grateful that I had children when I had children, before all of the chaos and drama. I had already had my children.
Ooh. Okay, right. Real quick, I just want to say, that's been a culture shock too. A lot of my friends, their parents are young.
Exactly.
And it is different. It's a different experience. Yeah. But go ahead.
I waited. I didn't have you until I was 33 years old.
Really?
It sounds really, really old. But what it allowed me to do is I raised my children with wisdom. I'm grateful that I did that. I'm grateful for... You know what? I'm grateful for all the horrible stuff that happened to me, so now I can identify what's good.
Yeah, and be grateful for that.
Exactly.
And appreciate
I'm grateful
it more.
for the lessons that I've learned. I have a great man in my life. I'm grateful, that I was able to find love again, which is a big deal. Yeah, it is, but it's a big deal. I just didn't know. I didn't know how my life was going to turn out. I don't know if that's 4 or 5. What is that? 4 or 5, whatever.
That's 4. Give one. I don't know. We lost count.
You know what?
Give one
the
more.
big thing though that I'm grateful for. I am grateful for God's grace and mercy, and for second chances, for my ability to be able to start over again and get it right.
Exactly. I'm grateful to just wake up and you know what? I want to try this again. I'm grateful to just I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off, but I'm just so excited.
It's okay. That's what we're supposed to. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. The big thing that I'm grateful for is I am grateful for the opportunity to wake up every single day and get it right again, or try to get it right again. Yes. Second chances. I'm grateful for second chances. So listen, this podcast was about depression. I gave you some of the signs of depression, right? You know what we're going to talk about next time?
What are we going to talk about?
How to get happy.
How to get happy.
How to get happy.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. We're going to have a whole thing on how do you really pick yourself up out of depression and, find the light again. I'll say that.
Exactly. And one of the keys is what you said is balance, right? And I won't get into it because it's really and truly a secret to being happy. And the reason why you're happy right now is because you're working on all 4 areas of your life.
This makes me upset. All right, push it aside. All right,
exactly.
let's go to my mom's house. Bother her. Like
right.
Literally.
Yeah, so it's been, it's been a journey, right? But it's been a journey, is all I can tell you.
Yeah, it's been a journey, literally.
It's been a journey. So, guys, we are super excited about this podcast. We're going to continue. We're still growing. We're still, trying to figure this thing out.
Feedback was so good on the first video. We love y'all.
We love you and want you to keep watching. Please subscribe and like,
yes.
comment. Let us know you're here, that we're not doing this thing by ourselves. We're going to keep doing it, though.
We're going to keep doing it. We're not stopping. We're not scared. We're going to keep doing it.
I'm excited about it. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is because I knew it would bring us together and make us even. We're already close.
I love it.
But make us even closer, and it's a way for me to make sure that my baby's okay by having this communication. So you guys get the benefit of us healing each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe y'all can heal too.
Exactly.
Yes. Send this to, if you're a mom, maybe send it to some of your children or something like that.
Share.
If you're a child, send it to your mama. Like, we have the representation here, y'all. We have both ends of the spectrum.
You know what I was thinking about the last time, though?
What you was thinking about?
You are not a millennial. We talked the whole time about this girl being a millennial.
I'm not a millennial.
She's not a millennial yet.
Gen what are you?
I'm Gen. What am I?
Gen
X. I think I'm Gen X.
Okay, I'm Gen Z.
How about we
I'm Gen Z.
She's Gen Z, but how about this? How about we're just two different generations, and we're gonna leave that whole. I don't even know who came up with this.
Yeah, we trying to get into the terms. Like I'm making fun of her because she don't know terms. I didn't even know. Literally.
She's not a millennial yet, okay?
Yes.
But the point is, I'm her mother. She's my child, but she's my adult child, and I learned so much stuff from her age group because they know they're the pulse. You're gonna say honestly, your age group, you guys are gonna save this world. All right,
tell me about it.
My entire team,
though, honestly,
my entire team is gonna be young people because you guys are, you're on the pulse of what's going on in the world right now, and your opinions matter to me.
Yes,
I am not arrogant enough to think that I cannot learn from my 20-year-old child, and so that's why we're doing this. Okay. So, guys, today we were talking about depression, some signs of depression, and some ways that you can be helped through depression, okay? And we'll drop some information below, some, phone calls, suicide hotline, all those things. We'll drop some resources below, okay? If you guys are experiencing anything, be sure to seek help, all right?
Please.
Exactly. And like I said before, we talked about depression in this podcast. We're going to talk a little bit in the next podcast about how to get happy, okay? So keep watching. We're getting better. I'm Christy.
And I'm Elon. Thank you for watching so much. This is Date the Nerd. Yay!
See you guys later.